I am good. How are you? I feel like people don't think I'm serious enough.
You know what? Now somebody at the gym said to me that they found me on YouTube.
They found you on YouTube?
And you know what the first thing they said to me was?
Tell me.
That guy you do the show with, Darryl, he's really funny.
No, this is a second person?
This is this week. Another guy.
Another guy.
I told him that I'm supposed to be the funny one.
You gotta step it up, baby.
I gotta
Time
step
to
it up.
step it
I
up.
gotta work on this.
TK.
Is my camera blurry right now?
I'm gonna have to say yes.
I feel like it is. Is that better?
What changed? Maybe.
I turned off the video
Possibly.
and turned it back on.
Okay. Well, seems good to me.
That's not very funny.
It's not very funny though, TK. Like, what the hell?
It's not very.
I'm so excited for today's show, especially after we got railed for last week's show, eh?
Is our guest here yet?
Our guest is here yet. Am I late? Are we ready?
Yeah,
Are you
10:01.
ready? 10:01. Get that food on the table. 10:01. Don't be late, mister.
Don't be
What is
late.
going on? Wow, this is our biggest guest of all time, TK. The booking department did good.
We got a great booking manager right now.
The booking manager is on.
I'm about a month.
point.
I'm about a month out.
Oh,
Hey, Odeen.
I can hear you.
We hear you. We hear you.
There she
Yeah,
is.
turn it
There you
on.
go.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
So
Thank
I'm
you.
vertical, like I'm like not landscape. Is this okay for me to be?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
I
Wow,
tried
though
to
I wouldn't
put-
mind seeing like the rest of that background. Holy
You
mackerel.
know what,
We can
Darryl?
get
The
the
rest
tour.
of the background is a mess.
Is a mess.
Because so I like strategically positioned it where you don't see like toys, my kids' toys everywhere. So
Yeah.
Well
Hence
done.
why we have
ma'am.
backgrounds,
Well
Darryl.
done.
We learned that lesson. We did a few episodes and we're like, man, this is hard trying to get this
Oh,
background
you
right every
guys!
time.
Oh my gosh! I just realized. Yeah, you literally have like the green screen type of
The
thing.
fake
Yeah.
backgrounds. Yeah, that's okay.
Don't tell anybody what. No.
So
We'll
we're
take that
Odeen.
in
We are
editing.
we are ready to go. This is our show.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna
Nice.
just talk. We're gonna have some great conversation. We're super excited to talk to you. I did a little bit of
Super.
homework on you. Okay,
Okay.
one.
You didn't need to do homework, TK.
Well, the first
we go
bit
back.
of homework. The first bit of homework was, when did I meet you?
When and how? This is my question.
So
How?
Odeen,
And why
Odeen
are
and
you
I
still in
worked
touch with
together.
this guy? That's the big question.
Odeen and I worked together about 9 years ago. Okay,
Is it
So
only
we-
9 years? I think it's longer than that, TK.
it could be more than that. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I found some records from 2012, so I
Oh.
assume that that's when it was. But
Okay.
we're going back. Okay, so we're going back to our earlier days in real estate. We were both young, successful agents doing really well in the Durham region. We worked together, and she has taken off on this path. And I had to go, Darryl, listen to this. I had to go to her IMDb page. Get more. This is the
Me
first
too.
guest
I went
with
there too.
with an IMDb
IMB.
page. All right, so here, let me pull it out. First and foremost, our guest today, Odeen Eccleston. She's a mother.
Wow.
She is the broker of record of We Realty. She's a developer, a builder, star of the HGTV Hot Market, successful actress, and overall amazing and caring human being. That's our guest today.
Wow. And
Welcome.
now, after all of that, like that was some hard work getting there. And now finally, you've reached the peak, the pinnacle. You're on the Toronto Real Estate Show. How does that feel? There are
I'm
like
honored.
there's like 4 people out there that are like so happy right now that are watching this show.
We're gonna grow. We're growing.
We're
I
growing.
am
more than 4.
honored. I am thrilled. It's like just a beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is shining, and like I'm just happy to be sitting with you guys and chatting.
Awesome.
Great.
And
We
I'm
love
proud
it.
of you both. I'm proud of you both, by the way.
Thank
This
you.
show is awesome.
Thanks.
So just again, thank you for inviting me.
Really
We have,
appreciate your time.
we have sometimes a realtor who may be the realtor of the celebrities, but you are the true celebrity realtor. So
Celebrity
we're glad to
realtor.
have you. So what's
Wow.
new? So what's going on? So now We Realty. Let's start with that. We Realty. You're a broker of record now.
Yes, I am. So it stands for Wilshire Eccleston, and so I co-founded, and I own this company called Wilshire Homes and Wilshire Eccleston Development, and those are two subsidiaries of the Wilshire Group. And we're building and selling all of these homes over the past 8 years. And I was happy to be with Reddit Home Realty. They're the second brokerage that I've ever been with. I got my license similar to you, TK, when I was around 21 years old. And I was naive at the time. I just signed up with like the brokerage that was geographically closest to where I live. So at the time it was a Remax, and I just went in and I'm like with big doe eyes, and I signed up, and they were amazing. I learned so much in my first year there. And then afterwards, I was really busy with doing some acting stuff at that time. So I was like, you know what? Somebody referred me to Reddit Home Realty, where they said that basically the structure was probably more aligned with what I had going on, because my focus was a little different at that time. But then anyway, we started building homes, Lamont and I, who you know,
Yep.
and we were building so many of them and selling them under the Reddit Home brand, which was fantastic, but it stopped making sense. We're like, we should have our own brokerage to sell this product. So that was the original thought process behind starting We Realty. But since then, to my surprise, there's been quite a bit of interest in other agents just being interested in being involved and joining. And so over the past year and a half, we've been developing the infrastructure and systems and personnel to be able to facilitate the growth of this leg of the company as well. And we're looking forward to accepting accepting more agents, because we've had quite a few people like wanting to join, but I said, you know what, not until we can add value to your career will I feel comfortable allowing people in. So that's what we're working on now.
Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And the systems, right? And that's where people get like in anything, opening up a restaurant. I'm gonna go and open up, TK's hamburgers, or am I gonna go and get a McDonald's, right? Like that franchise is always a guide to be able to give you structure, to give you systems, to put you in place for success. And you're doing this all. You're going on your own and saying, we're gonna use our own systems. We're going to come up with our own methods and stuff. So it's a big endeavor, and that's courageous for sure.
Yeah, right now we're working on, we purchased some office space at the beginning of the year, and we figured that to outfit it would take like a few months, right? Like we have in-house renovation and site managers, but it's taking like double the time, but we want to get it right. We want to get it right for the Wilshire Homes team and the Wilshire Eccleston Development customers and clients. It's also going to be like a design selection center, but also for the We Realty growing staff. I want it to be like a dynamic place. I mean, a lot of people, we mostly work from home now, but it's still, it's important to us that, again, we have, in case people need this space to impress clients or just work and collaborate, that it's optimal.
Great. Yeah. Have you seen, Darryl, you've seen some of the stuff that they do? Like, this is not,
this is not
middle range.
your,
this is the luxury pinnacle of real estate. Like this is very, very nice. And it always has been. I mean, Lamont, obviously, with his, background, and you've always been that type of luxury realtor. And now the stuff that you guys are building, it's just like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, it's just like a league above everybody else, which is awesome.
And you know what, TK and Darryl, there's a demand for it, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is not just, and at first, like a few years ago, when we first started building, we had this idea to build like estate homes and stuff. People were like, wow, like, are you sure? We cannot build enough of them. There is a demand.
Yeah.
And I'm sure both of you know right now, I've never seen, this year sets a record in terms of the amount of people interested in acres of land, right? They want to expand, and they want homes that are like over 5,000 square feet, and
Any bunkers? Anybody building bunkers, underground bunkers, in
oh,
case the
you're
zombie apocalypse comes?
Safe rooms or
right.
anything like that? Yeah.
Well, you're hearing about that, right? Like even in these, like there's like an influx of iceberg homes. Have you heard of
Iceberg.
the iceberg?
Yeah, iceberg homes,
Yeah,
not the same. Fucking crazy, these iceberg homes. Have you seen this,
yeah,
TK? What
I've
the
seen the
hell
ones
is this? Who wants to live underground like that?
that are
On
built into the
purpose
hill.
for millions of dollars.
yeah,
Construction costs must be nuts for those.
yeah. We have not done any of those. I know that they're
Oh,
like really popular, I think in Vancouver, right? Like, or in British Columbia too.
it is
Not sure,
insane. The
but
concept
the
is
main thing is
insane.
though, like what are people asking for that's like outrageous? Like are people coming to you
Yeah,
and saying
what's
like
new?
this is what I want, and you're like, we can't do that.
Well, you know what? I mean, we're a custom home building companies. We do have some projects that are like pre-construction, and obviously you can customize those to a certain extent. But we also do just like our foundation is just you dream it and we build it, right? So as you can imagine, over the years, people have come up with just really nothing's too outlandish. But as you said, safe rooms have been increasingly popular. This is not outlandish, but everybody wants like more than one home office right now.
Yeah. What about
Right?
like
They want
YouTube studios and sound studios, video studios?
exactly. People want places to be creative. People
Yeah.
want indoor basketball courts. That's been really popular lately, or like half courts.
Of
Um,
course.
Wow.
we got our first request for an indoor swimming pool that we're going to be
Oh
doing.
no.
I know.
Oh,
Oh,
I used to do that for a long time, and yeah, I hated it. I was like boots, like construction boots guy, and it was horrible. Well, actually, I was construction boots guy, finance guy, marketing guy, manager guy. I was everything guy. It was pretty annoying, that industry, in my opinion. But
I think there's a
indoor
huge
pools are the
improvement.
worst.
I
No,
know, but there's
imagine TK. Imagine how much money you got to pay for a good trade right now and keep them on your site. Okay. Like, I can't even imagine like how expensive a good trade is right now and how stretched out they must be over so many projects. It's got to be like the worst environment to do this in with customers that have like great litigation lawyers and timelines, and it must be a nightmare.
yeah.
Darryl, you're right. We're in like unprecedented times when it comes to
Yeah.
renovations and custom builds because and that's why there's this supply and demand issue, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like within real estate. So like few people are deciding to sell. Instead, they just want to improve. So we're seeing this. Are you guys seeing this too? Where instead of selling, people are just extracting equity to perhaps buy another investment property and just
Yep.
renovate their homes, just making their space like up
Yep.
to date. Yeah.
We had a guest on a couple weeks ago that was Four Seasons sunrooms, and so they just do additions, and that's what he's backed up, and he's never been busier, and it's just
Yeah.
people adding those extra spaces to be able to live in so that they can improve
Yeah.
their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, a friend,
Darryl's
one of my partners owns Garage Living, which is like a fancy garage build out company. I don't know what you call them, but they like very
Yeah.
high end clientele can afford this product, and they
Yeah.
can't get enough product. Like
Yeah.
they can't outfit anything. It's like it's a disaster out there right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I would imagine a lot of people are thinking that they want to renovate or are stuck in the middle of a renovation way longer than expected, or partway through the GC came to them and said, by the way, like lumber just went up like this, so it's going to cost more. Sorry. And this is going to
Yeah.
cost more. And everybody just quit. Or they, I can't even imagine.
they got a job that pays them more.
So
Yeah.
you touched on something here, and I just want to go over a few headlines that are going to direct this next part of the conversation that I think you kind of started leaning into. We're seeing a lot of stuff like this. This home in Toronto just sold for a ridiculous amount over asking. Now, again, we have a saying on this show: "Who gives a shit what the asking is? What was it worth?" Right? That's my saying, anyways. But this was like
You just made that up.
2.1. Yeah, I did. But this is
Yeah.
like $2.1 million over asking. So like, what the hell
What
was
is
the
it?
ask?
Sorry, 2.1 million over asking?
That
What?
being said, a home selling for 2.1 over asking, nearly 50% more than that. Yeah, like this actually just
Wow.
happened. And I mean,
That
it's
is
okay.
headline news.
It's okay. Like it's
Rosedale Road.
okay, right? But here, another one. With little else for sale, Beaches Home draws 4 early offers.
Of course.
With average prices up another 14%. Swiss Bank warns of housing bubble in Canada.
Yeah.
Toronto ranked second largest real estate bubble risk in the world.
Mhm.
Home prices in and around Toronto are rising and only expected to climb higher.
Yeah.
Like this is what we have going on right now, right?
Yeah.
So,
No,
so
Daryl.
you were started talking about it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, uh, it's certainly a different landscape than when TK and I started in this industry in the GTA over 10 years ago. Um, Obviously, as we said, it's because of supply and demand, but I think there's a bunch of other factors at play. Um,
Namely,
Obviously, population increase, this population boom that Ontario and apparently like North America at large has been going through. And like, so this is not just a Toronto problem. Like many cities all over the world are experiencing this just bursting at the seams in terms of population. I decided to Google it the other day, and don't quote me, but I think like the population of the Earth has like doubled since like 1970, something like that,
That makes
like
sense.
something,
Yeah.
yeah, something crazy
Yeah.
like that, right? So then when we think of that, when we think of technology, when we think of and when I say technology, right, like there's all kinds of well, and even exposure. Let me just list out the reasons why I think like the boom, because I think about this a lot. So more realtors than ever, right? Right. Like so when
more realtors. We have 5 times more realtors in Ontario
yeah,
than listings.
exactly, right? So then I think the
But
stats
they're
is that
all
only like
really good realtors, all of them.
of
Everyone, they're great.
course, right? Yeah. So I
Even
think
playing field.
is it like 20% of all, I don't know, what is it, 50, 60,000 realtors right now that are actually like actively full-time working?
20% is probably a pretty high number, I would say.
Like, what are you doing right now if you don't have a listing or at least a buyer? Like, there's a lot of
Right.
realtors out there that don't have either. What are you
You're
doing?
working your other job. I think the numbers are
Right.
skewed. So yeah, there's
What if
very
you worked
little.
in a restaurant? Oy.
51% sell one house or less. But
Mm,
there's a lot of people who just have their license and they're just not saying, maybe 20%. That's probably a good figure to say 20% of people are putting in a good effort into real estate.
right.
But definitely
Okay.
the piece of the pie who's actually selling the bulk of the real estate would be 5% or less.
Got
Relax.
it.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
agents who are actually
Yeah.
doing the numbers out there.
Yeah.
So it
And
is the
yeah.
business.
So then I think another factor that we don't talk about enough is oh my gosh, what was I going to say? There's a few things. Oh yeah, the information is out there more than ever, right?
Mm.
Like as the years go by, more of the population is aware of the use of real estate and the importance of real estate. Remember, 20 years ago, when say the internet was less popular, you couldn't learn like you can YouTube how to flip a home, how to make money in real estate. So the information is so rampant. Young people and older people, everybody, even as we know during the pandemic, are they're researching okay, sure, like Bitcoin and stuff, right? And then they're also researching how do I make money in real estate?
Yeah.
And so then that's it used to be, and not to say that this was a better thing for society, but it used to be somewhat of this elite club of people who were, say, owning multiple real estate, like had a real estate portfolio and stuff. Now a lot of people do, right? Because it's just common knowledge almost.
Sure.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so wait until the combination of ease of purchase,
Mhm.
the ability to split purchases over multiple people
Mhm.
is able to happen instantly, and the real estate market becomes like a stock market. While half the
Exactly.
population in Nigeria and Brazil and the other side of the planet comes online with internet
Yes.
and has like maybe bought like Bitcoin or been mining Bitcoin or who knows what the hell, but they're going to be able to buy like a slice of Toronto, right?
Exactly, Darryl. Yes.
And that doesn't make prices go down because there's only so
No.
much. Like, try getting a 416 phone number. Like, right? There's only
Yeah.
so many houses in 416, and it's
Yeah.
less than there is phone numbers,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
And you guys are part of the solution. The solution is building that. Like Darryl's
Making
doing
your own product to
mid-rise,
sell.
high-rise condos, and Odeen, you're doing the low-rise luxury, single-family stuff. That's what it is we need more. We don't need more home buyers. We don't need more people to, need to live places. We have enough of those. We need people who are out there with the passion and drive to figure out the zoning, to figure out the development side, to figure out planning and say, this is what can be built here, and I'm going to go and do it. Because the government's not big enough or organized enough to do it. The big developers, they've only got so many pieces of the pie that they can handle or are willing to handle because they have maybe higher margins that they need because they're such a big
They move
big
slow
infrastructure.
too. Those big
need
companies,
small
they move
developers.
slow.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. It's
Yeah.
like, of course, there's like a level of the people who have like the grit and the know-how and the stomach to endeavor into this type of industry of building subdivisions and custom homes, because it can be quite stressful. But then not only that, here in Ontario, apparently there's another like stat I read, like the process of building like or developing from beginning to end, the process is longer. It's like the second longest process in like the world or like North America or something.
Other than
Darryl's
like
been doing it
Germany.
for a long time. He's only 26 years old.
That's right.
And, this
And
is
I've
what
been
he
doing
looks
it
like
for like
because
26 years on this one
Wow.
project.
but the stress
Wow.
of building, this is what it does to you, right? So
No, but seriously, it's crazy. So I have I won't call him a friend because I don't really like him, but he's another developer I know. And he has a property at like DuPont and Davenport kind of area, like a really nice area. And it's got two buildings on it with like 10 units each. And he proposed this really nice building.
Yeah.
And yeah, guess what? Not happening. So he proposed this really nice building with like 50 units that would have been beautiful. And they were doing like rental replacement for the old ones. Like they were doing everything that they needed to do. And guess what?
Yeah.
No, they're going to have to build like 6 townhouses behind these old buildings. Why? Because like some immigrants in the 20s that somebody thinks is important, like lived there at one point. So people have to have these crappy old units that even if you renovate, they're still crappy and they're still old and they're in a piece of shit with 6 townhouses behind them now because the developer has to make some money somehow on this site. But so we just gained 6 units instead of 50.
Yeah. And I don't know where the logic, of course, right? Like they're doing, I guess, they're preserving, I guess, like parts of the heritage of the city. And of course, there's environmental implications that they look into. So I understand that there's usually like a rhyme or reason behind their decision making, but it is so frustrating and infuriatingly slow at times. So it's not like we're being super encouraged by the government in some ways to like do this job because
no incentive.
It's like we're fighting against them.
Yeah,
It's really
so
insane.
Just off the top
I
of my
had to
head,
have a meeting this week. Oh, sorry.
Odeen. So I know that recently you guys have a project in the Rougemount Ravine area. So that was 1 lot. That's now going to be 4.
Where's that?
Correct?
Where's Rougemount? Is that Scarborough?
It's like a real upscale part of Pickering. It's like
Pickering.
the place to be in Pickering, right? So
Ooh.
I know that in Oshawa you guys had
Trendy.
some stuff that was multiple lots. Obviously that came out of 1 lot. You've got some amazing estate homes. Everything has been, you're taking land, you're developing it, and you are creating more units for people, right? There's very little infill sites that you guys do, right? Where you buy 1 lot and just build.
Well, that's where we started with the infills, right? And that's what helped us to gain the experience. Really, we started gaining experience. Like we wanted to sort of be masters of the craft before we like expand into multi-res. So absolutely. In fact, we started sort of like our very first one was gosh, maybe 11 years ago. And it was like just a really elaborate flip. Like it was a flip, right? And so then, you know, and we learned a lot and did another one. And then really we couldn't find homes to flip anymore, right? It was just not making any sense. And in fact, we were losing money. And so then, you know, some of our finance people said, you know what, you can, are we ready to like do a couple infills? And so we did like 2 at first. And then on that street, we did a few others. What we were doing, and we knew ahead that obviously we would be increasing the value of the neighborhood. So we bought like a bunch of those like sort of dilapidated older bungalows on that street before we started building.
What area?
Then in South Pickering.
Okay.
Yeah. And at the time, people didn't even want to touch that part of town. So, and now it's crazy, right? Just like everywhere else. But
Pickering, something special's going on there.
Yeah. You know what it was, Darryl? At first, or not, I shouldn't say at first, for many years, it was stigmatized because of the power plant. So even where we were building, it was close to the power plant because it was like waterfront, right? And it's over there, which is like interesting to me why they would have chosen to, I guess there's a reason why, but put that power plant on the beautiful waterfront back in the day. But anyway, they're decommissioning
brilliant politicians, probably.
Yeah. They are.
I think there's a use. I think there's a use to the water. I think they have to
water. Yeah, that probably is the reason. Yeah, and so we had to convince people, and so then we didn't make a lot of money at all on those first couple of builds because people were like, the power plant, whatever. And then, but by the time we were like at our final build in that neighborhood, it was like we couldn't even buy on the street to get more lots because, of course, the value has just soared.
And that's the hardest thing too, is like taking the commitment. I don't have all the details, but I know your Rougemount. And you know, when you bought, it was just like there wasn't anything going on, and everyone was kind of like looking at those lots, like, is that a good deal? Is that something that you can make money on? And now, like all the sales that have happened recently, it's just like, oh wow, that was a fantastic deal to pick up, right? Like that was a good opportunity to take on, and that's the risk that a developer has to take. Another reason why people don't do it, right? Like you said, you lost money in the flips. I've lost money in flips. Everybody's lost money on flips. That's how it works. And you take the chances. To take the chances of going through this is not, you don't have the stomach. Not everyone has a stomach for it.
But nobody else realizes it's a tremendous risk, but nobody realizes that it's actually, I think it's easier to build a couple of houses from scratch than it is to do a renovation to a house.
That's what we've learned.
Yes.
That's what we've learned. Like we learned that like several years, and we learned it the hard way. And I absolutely agree with you. It is easier just to start from the ground up, start from scratch, than going in, tearing down walls, finding issues, and then trying to, it's just,
it's more fun doing the reno because it actually kind of like makes you use your brain a lot to figure out all the problems. You have to kind of understand engineering, depending on the size of the flip. Like I'm talking about ripping roofs off and that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool, but that sucks.
Especially
if you have a client, that sucks. Oh, sorry, this is gonna cost $50,000.
Did that happen to you guys? Odeen, did you guys have a home where you guys were building during the pandemic and the cost change? Like there was a massive cost change, or how did you guys handle that?
In terms of lumber, but you know what? We started at the beginning. We got some contracts at the beginning of the pandemic before the lumber soared. But you know what? Our clients were pretty reasonable, because it was just like everybody sees it, right? Like it's all over the news. It's so we tried our best to honor as much as we could, but there were just some inevitable adjustments that had to be made, and thankfully, our clients are just reasonable. And and that they want it to be expedited, right? They want to move into these homes, so
it's gotta be a nightmare.
That's I think the main thing when someone's having a house built is at the end when you realize you went with someone who's cheaper and then they're like 6 months behind and you hate everything about the house. You realize
I don't think cheaper makes a difference of whether you're 6 months late or not.
Well, regardless,
it really doesn't.
I mean, when you're
just 6 months late with shitty workmanship.
Sure, but there's a lot of contractors who will delay it as well too. And you know, from the work that I've seen, you guys do great jobs, and I think that's something when they finally move in, they're just happy. You know, these are forever homes you're building too. That's
These
another
are for
factor.
the most part,
Yeah.
for the most part, people's forever homes, which is so fulfilling.
Yeah.
And yes, often there are delays, but you know what? We have, again, we've sort of invested in quite a bit of like personnel and some really great talent in terms of designers and coordinators and site managers. So yeah, people are pretty satisfied with us.
Do you have any plans for using robots on any of your job sites anytime soon?
See, this is a part of, I guess, the pros of being in this industry, because I have been racking my mind about like how, okay, I can see real estate agents, like I can see us being taken over by the robots, but building, I'm not sure. I think that's going to be like a couple decades out, Darryl.
I'm the opposite, Odeen. I'm gonna officially say that I am on the opposite end of the spectrum. I think building is coming before real estate agents.
But it's such a personal touch. Like I can see, what are they called again? Like the, you know, what are they called? Those, because we're not into them yet.
3D printing?
Yeah, the 3D printing homes, or even like the ones that are like, kind of like portables.
Oh, the
modular,
storage
modular.
containers.
Modular, sorry,
Yeah.
my goodness. Sorry, everybody out there. Modular homes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
prefab
like
stuff.
those being taken over. But the houses that we're building, it's really hard for me to imagine.
There's a company in British Columbia right now. They were just in the news this week that have like an assembly line of robots that are supposed to be building houses. Yeah. It makes sense.
Pretty
Look at
simple.
look at Tesla. Okay. Look at Tesla's factory building cars. It is inevitable that we will build houses the same way in a very, very short time. Between all the technology out there and all of the machinery possible, it's like we're going to be pumping out like really boring houses to catch up with demand.
Boring houses that are boxy and square,
Boxy,
and
boring,
easy,
cheap.
and are up in a weekend.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, but then they do the trick because it's housing, and as long as, hey, I'm all for it, because then if that helps to solve the supply and demand issue in the long run, if this is the solution, then I'm for it. But then I guess, my goodness, what kind of society are we leaning towards if it's going to
be pretty crazy? But look, our generation, which we're all kind of close in age. I mean, obviously I'm younger by a couple of decades, but like we're relatively close in age. Like, do we carry bricks, any of us, on a regular basis, or swing a hammer? Do we have any desire to do anything close to that? No. And I guarantee you my kids don't either. And I'm pretty sure none of my friends are doing anything like that for a living. So like, if we want prices to stay anywhere close to reality, somebody, like, either we have to take advantage of other people and bring in cheap labor, or we have to make a bunch of robots.
Yeah.
You know, it's nerve-wracking, because it's just
Crazy.
like, I'm thinking of the, like, how boring and like homogenous things would start to look like.
Like, it would look
There
like
would be a
camp.
whole industry sprung on how do we spruce up these boxes now? How do we make them look unique, right? There would be all these, all these cool
Mods,
new
little
materials,
add-ons.
modding your house.
Yeah.
It's a new term.
You know, I
New
have
skin.
been telling
Point here, new skins.
everybody, like, because people, like, you know, kids ask me like, oh, what should I do? I want to be involved in real estate. And I say, get a trade. Like, I do, like, tradespeople are.
Yeah, it's easy to tell other people to get a trade.
No, but all of, like, my clients that are in the trades, they're on to, like, they're doing better than some of, like.
Oh, they're making a fortune.
Most of my builders are.
They're a dying breed.
Yeah.
Like, where's the new HVAC
guys?
guys? Where's the 18-year-old guy going, man, I want to own an HVAC company? No,
Well,
Dad, I'm not working at your HVAC company. I'm not working. Give me the gold card, Dad.
Yeah, I don't know what's
Get me a
So
Tesla,
you're saying,
Dad.
Odeen, a lot of your clients, so you're seeing like the people who are buying the luxury homes, right? They're not the typical luxury buyers. Like,
Who's
you know, how
buying?
we would grow up saying, if you want to own a luxury home, you better go become a doctor. Like, no, it's like, these are like hardworking people who, you know, found their way and had
Daryl's
success.
right, though. We do have quite a few clients that are like just like in tech, like seriously, the Bitcoin and like that kind of we've got people in that, and also
modern
yeah.
type of employment.
Software.
Yeah, gosh, it's like because of privacy, I don't want to say too much, but I guess I'm not saying the name or anything. But we've got, I've had like this, and they're like treasured clients, and they've made a fortune from OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Have you heard of
for
OnlyFans?
Sure.
Oh, OnlyFans.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
what's
I said
OnlyFans? What are you
Stan.
talking about? Isn't that like for real
OnlyFans.
estate?
Yeah. No,
It's a real
you know what?
estate channel.
I didn't think that there was any money in that, and
Oh
now
my
I've
goodness
heard
gracious.
some pretty crazy. Like someone made $1 million in a day on OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
So
it's like,
people are, being creative. There's new ways for sure. And so then to Darryl's point, who wants to pick up a hammer, right? When they can do that. Yeah.
even a stripper, like why would you go in person now? I'm not even joking. Like so many things are changing. It's insane.
Yeah.
And this is the world we live in. It's a crazy world, but like I think like okay, we all read a million articles a day to try and figure out what's coming down the pipe next, right? And this is the goal of this show, is to figure out like somebody is going to tell us one day what's coming next. Is it going to crash? Is it going to like run away like a freight train? What do you think? Like you don't strike me as someone that follows like the main kind of narrative that's out there. So like you seem like somebody that adds logic to your thinking, and you seem pretty smart. So like where do you think the market's going in the next 6 months to a year? Here you seem to focus, I guess, on Ontario, right?
Yeah. So 6 months to a year, Darryl, that is like, to me, that's like an easier answer. And I think that the trajectory is going to continue, maybe not as acutely up or not like as sharply up, but it will be like a positive trajectory in terms of sales and numbers, right? What is sort of uncertain to me is, as you said, like sort of 10 years out. So that's what makes me like apprehensive. And because our buyers now, in order to compete, a lot of the times it pains me to say, but a lot of the times they're overpaying. They're in order to win a bid. And that's because
Have to overpay.
You have to.
You're overpaying. If you win a bid, you're like, that's the only way to get it.
That's the only.
Three other people are willing to overpay as well.
Right. And so then, I'm big, one of like, obviously like in the code of ethics of obviously RICO, but in our We Realty is transparency, right? And I try to say, if you wouldn't sell this home to your mother for that price, then don't sell it to any of our clients. Like, think about it. Would you sell it to your mom for that amount? But at the same time, some people, we are now competing against unscrupulous consumers and agents. We're competing against
corporations.
Yeah, gigantic corporations. We're competing against desperate people. So when you combine all of that, but if this person really needs a home, then the transparency that I'm advising our agents to just say, and what I'm saying also to my own clients is, listen, this is the market value right here. But what it looks like you're going to need to get it is, I don't know, $50,000, $55,000 even over this market value. Are you okay with that? Because when the bank comes to appraise it, they're probably going to appraise it at X, but you're now paying, Y. So it's like it's the transparency that I think is just like imperative when working with buyers in this just unprecedentedly gruesome buyer's market. And it is, right? It's bad. But especially if anybody's buying anything under, like, say, $1.5 million, and it's just anyway, how do we get
those
here?
price ranges, right?
Yeah.
I put a house on in Ajax for $550 detached this week. I got lots of activity, let's just say.
$550. So that's going to go for double, right?
No, the last sale on the street was $620, but this one needs everything.
Everything.
Oh, it needs everything. So
it needs everything. Mine needs everything. Yeah. So it's a good flip.
Okay.
It's a good first time buyer type of house, that kind of stuff. But there's probably a line.
What kind of rent do you get there for that kind of price?
If you fix, well, you have to fix it all up and stuff like that too. You'd have a nice, you could do 3 bedrooms, maybe one in the basement, add a fourth, and be getting somewhere in the
Wow.
$2,500 plus utilities range.
You are going to have a lineup from here to Timbuktu on that 550 listing,
For a
TK.
Yeah,
house,
we do.
yeah. It's like a condo.
And
It's
they're
like a
offering
condo in Newmarket, if you're lucky.
Yeah, but anything
With a
under a million,
den.
even an $800,000 or $900,000 house in Ajax
Yeah.
has got the same thing, or
It's
any
crazy.
Durham, like any region in the GTA.
Ajax, Pickering, like new condos are 950 a foot right now in the new
Yeah.
launches. It
Yeah.
is crazy. 925, 950, probably
Yeah.
some units $1,000 a foot in Pickering and Ajax.
It's
It
absurd.
it's magnificent though, because guess what? Listen, it ain't gonna be fun for any of us if it goes the other way, right?
Well, this is what I'm saying. The 1 year from now, I'm not even worried. I think it's gonna still it's gonna stabilize or go up. But 10 years,
Mhm.
if the robots take over, as per your prediction, well then we might have a reverse supply and demand issue, right? Like right now, I mean, we're hypothesizing. I don't know if this would even really happen, or you're
Happening. It's
hypothesizing.
happening. It's happening. I am
It's happening.
hypothesizing. It's happening as we speak, all this stuff. I don't listen. I'm crazy. I don't make this stuff up. I see it. I see this stuff
Mhm.
all happening and it's all converging. This is going to be a crazy time to be alive this next decade
Yeah.
because there's so many new things coming all
Yeah.
simultaneously. And listen, people will have more time to be more creative, I think. A lot of
Mhm.
people will sit at home and do nothing because that's just what they want to do, but that's fine. We need people like them to press buy now.
We have another guy, Ben Myers, who comes on the show, Odeen, and he was explaining to us some of the modular type of construction, right? And right now, because it's still fairly new, the cost isn't really that much of a savings to the developer, right? Like, and these are like mid-rise buildings, Daryl.
Modular, mid-rise. Yeah, the
Yeah,
numbers
so
don't make sense.
the first group of developers who are going to do it, it's like they're going to not make the money. They're not going to have the systems in place. They're going to have to start figuring it out. In the end, probably regret even doing it. Eventually, someone will figure out it'll drive the cost down for them. They'll benefit from it. Then it'll be widely intercepted. Then those developers will start paying more for the land because they can afford to, and we'll be right back to where we are, right? Except buildings will be built faster, right?
But faster. So that's
faster.
the key. That's the key. And so then does that mean, no, because it's 10 years from now, right? Does that mean, do you guys think that we could be upside down in terms of value, like today's pricing compared to 10 years from now?
Never.
Never.
No.
I don't think so either.
The areas that those happen in, like Miami was a big one, right? So it was like vacation rentals. They overbuilt all these condos. People got, left holding the bag. New York has had those issues a couple times, but really not, as recently. There has to be a significant construction boom, and we are the slowest place in the world to be able to build anything. So how is that ever going to be possible?
We have the most construction on top of that too, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't forget,
active
we're the
construction because we
slowest.
can't get it done, Daryl.
We're the slowest. We're the worst. We're the most behind, but we're building more than anybody on the planet. Like, we have 124 cranes.
Yeah.
Right. And these guys, I'm telling you, one of the reasons we have 124 cranes is because these guys are fucking geniuses. They have 3 cranes building one building or like 2 buildings, like doing like a dance, these cranes, making things go, go, go. But imagine when the crane doesn't need the human. Imagine when the crane never stops all day, all night.
In Vegas, they build at night because it's so hot in the summertime. Right. So the construction guys, you'll see them going to work at 8 o'clock at night because they have to do the work that they need to do. And it's 110 degrees during the day. They can't work. So
but imagine when it's like quiet and 24/7 and like
automated.
no human, automated. Even
Oh
parts of it will make a difference. But that's good. That's the only thing that will bring prices anywhere close to down or keep them stable, because the materials will become scarcer and scarcer, and there'll be less people. Like, who the fuck wants to cut down a tree today? Right? On top of the fact that people don't even think it's the right thing to do, they don't even want to do it physically, right?
Yeah.
So like, somebody's going to come up with like this new building material soon.
Yeah.
And all the other building materials are getting to it. Like, things are going to get nutty. Look, Tesla's making like their own material to make their cars with. Like people are going to start figuring out some weird shit soon.
Yeah,
We're gonna start building
what
the
a
lumber,
time.
everything.
What a time.
Siding,
Yeah.
siding, plumbing fixtures, appliances, countertops.
3D
you name it.
It'll be
printed
3D
toilets. Can you imagine?
printing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just print a toilet. Who cares that it
Sure.
cracked, right?
You know
Print them a
what?
new one.
Wouldn't want that
This
to be
is
first one using my
this
house.
is like it's exciting. Like as much as it's like sort of
Crazy and
nerve-wracking,
exciting.
it's like I think we're so lucky to be like around this age, like
Yeah.
at this time, because we had the blessing of experiencing quite a divergent time too, right? Like in the, when the 90s, I mean, we've always had the internet, but still not what it is today. So at least we had like a glimpse of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know we
Yeah.
got to see the world before the internet, like when we were
Yeah.
kids. We got to
Yeah.
see the internet come about where everyone's kind of like, whatever. You know how people used
Yeah.
to talk about the internet, like, the internet, like
Yeah.
you don't need that stuff. And
Yeah.
to basically now it's like the internet is king. It has taken
Life.
over.
It's
You do
life.
not,
Yeah.
you just can't go anywhere. Like the
No,
very
look,
first thing is
we all
Wi-Fi
grew up
when people move
without it.
in.
Imagine the perspective where it not only is it like been forever, it's so ingrained, like so ingrained.
Yeah.
People
So
will
then
buy
you-
out.
The
Oh, we
kids,
lost your video. Oh, there you
the
go.
kid,
Oh,
the
you know what?
kids right
Somebody
now who are
called,
growing up.
sorry.
Yeah.
Mhm. So then guys, sorry, it's like, but so then does this mean that they'll start charging for the internet? Right? Like more? Like
I think
It'll
it'll go
probably get
less.
cheaper.
I
They
think it'll be
want
free.
more people on. It'll be free. Yeah, I think
The
so
big
too.
companies will realize, they'll say we need to bypass Rogers and Bell and all that kind of stuff, because if if they don't have
Really?
access, we can't get their information, which is the most valuable part of the internet, or we can't get them to purchase from us. And
They
then
want
it'll
more
just be free.
people
Satellites
on.
in the
It's
air.
more people on.
Everyone's
More.
getting the internet.
Bring
Yeah.
on the
Anytime.
third world countries and
so
get
just
them
a quick
spending.
question. Just a quick question out of my own curiosity. How did you guys meet? You two meet?
That's a good question, TK. How did we meet?
We met through mutual friends, and it started out where Darryl asked me to play hockey on his team because I know how to play and everyone on his team didn't. And we ended
Including
up
me, the goalie.
Yeah, Darryl's like a starting goalie. He's like, his daughter played, so he's like, how hard could it be?
If
You know,
she can
she's
do
an
it.
athletic, teenage girl playing like high level girls hockey. I'll just go and play hockey
I always
at
wanted to be a
men's league.
goalie.
So I said, yeah, sure, I'll come out. And so then we became friends. And then I think one day he was like, oh, you're a real estate broker? Like we didn't even talk real estate at first. And then now we've done, some deals together, and he helps. He's actually my like development advisor. So all my development
Wonderful.
deals and clients, I go to Darryl. He's very, very knowledgeable. He's good. If you ever have information, Odeen, that you need for mid-rise, high-rise condo buildings, anything like that, take Darryl's information. Trust me, talk to him. Try not to hype him up too much right now, but he's a very valuable.
He's been
asset.
around the block a couple of
No,
times, and
really
he
good
is
to know.
warned for it. Warned for wear here. But that's
we're
a whole
working
other topic.
we're working on our first, I mean, it's like very preliminary stages, but potential high rise in St. Catharines. That's another really booming part of Ontario. So that would be our first, but it's such a long ways away from like say marketing or anything like that. So Darryl, I will probably be hitting you up for some
Oh
questions.
yeah, we should talk. You'd love a lot of the stuff I'm working on in the background. I'm like this
Nice.
evil
Yeah,
scientist.
actually, he's got some really
Yeah.
cool tech stuff too. So actually, that's another reason to talk to Odeen. So I just
Oh.
I'm part of the beta testing right now. I don't know how much I can talk about, Darryl. No,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, it's getting out there.
He's got a platform right now for brokers to be able to release information. So I just did like a sixplex that I have for sale down in the annex, and we launched
Nice.
everything. And I got an offer. I'm going to go see the clients this afternoon. So hopefully
Nice.
it worked and got it sold.
Oh, you did?
Congratulations.
Boom.
And it's just like
All
a
because of the
super,
software.
super coordinated type of platform for people in our space. When I'm doing investment properties, when you're doing developments, single family, it's gonna, it works for single family too, but commercial investment development, it's like it blows everything out of the water. And Darryl
Nice.
developed that himself from his
Oh, I can't wait
basement.
to hear more. Nice.
Cool. Yeah, there's some fun stuff going on here. But listen,
Yeah.
I'm old, I'm boring. We want to talk about you. We only have a bit more time left, and believe me, you're a hell of a lot more interesting than I am. That's for damn sure. What?
about it.
So
What about the
I
CBC
saw,
article? What
yeah,
about the
hold on. You have
CBC?
a show on TV, don't you? Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're all with Marilyn Dennis. Like, you're the real deal here. What the hell are you doing on this show?
Well, I mean, I'm having so much fun, and it's just like, yeah, as I said, honestly, I go way back with TK. So as soon as he messaged
TK's
me,
the
it was like,
man.
of course.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, we worked on Hot Market on HGTV. I don't know if any of you guys happened to catch
I
an
saw some
episode, but it
clips
was
because I don't have TV, but I
yeah.
saw some clips. It was
I saw
great.
some
You did
clips,
good.
yeah.
We'll
I saw
see.
one with you and Lamont, and the clients came
Mhm.
in and they were like, "Hey, we're looking for this and that," and that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's the thing. It's so interesting, TK. You're right. So many people just no longer have traditional TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't. So that was a great success. But now, and I can't say much, but we're working on something else. And it is because, again, people don't have TV. It's like on a streaming platform.
Smart.
Nice.
Yeah.
Smart.
Mhm.
That's the way to
the
go.
key right now. And
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
who do you know that is like has a big long list of content that they have to watch right now? It's like, isn't it? Isn't everybody scrambling for new cool stuff to watch? Like, and every network too needs stuff on their
Oh, I
network
see what you
now.
mean. Like the
If you're,
Netflixes and all that stuff.
yeah, like if
Yeah.
you're in content creation, even if it's crap, it's a
Mhm.
payday right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so Darryl, I wish I had the time to come up with my own content. This is actually like a production company. So
Yeah.
this is like what they do. And
Yeah,
so yeah, they're working on something like surrounding like our business for one of the streamers. So
Cool.
I honestly I just sort of go through the motions because obviously we're very busy just with our main bread and butter,
Yeah.
but it's like it's very it's such a
Crazy.
compliment. It's a compliment, right? It's just like you're
Amazing.
interested in what it's like. Who am I to say no? So I just go through the motions, and then yeah, it's exciting.
You're
like, in
delegating,
a way to go
right?
through.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
You're delegating. You guys work on the
yeah,
production. If you figure it
yeah,
out, I'll show up, do my
I'll
thing,
just show
and
up
it'll
and
be
do
a
my
success,
thing.
right?
exactly.
That's fantastic. It's we back in the day, we did a couple of sizzle reels for some of those production companies. What a crazy adventure.
Yeah,
We never made
yeah.
it onto the air though, because I guess we were too boring. But they came up with
But
some pretty nutty concepts for me. There was like deconstructing Darryl, and it was like me going to a therapist.
how
And
did that not get picked up?
you should see the scissor reel. It's friggin' hilarious. You should see my I gotta find it. My audition for like HGTV one time. Oh my god. I gotta find these things.
They did a commercial on
That
my
was the
street
name?
a week ago.
Deconstructing Daryl. Yeah. And it was like I was
Deconstructing
like a
Darryl.
crazy guy. And I went to they had like a fake psychiatrist for me to go to, like some lady from another show. It was all like scripted. I'm like, line.
What?
I
Was this
swear to
about
God.
real estate? What was it
It was
about real
about, yeah,
estate too?
construction. Yeah, when I had my general contracting business.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty
Hmm.
crazy. I
Hmm.
have a
That's
very
hilarious.
beautiful wife, luckily, and
I'm gonna
she
start an IMDb page just for Daryl, just to put it on
should.
there.
I'll
Just to
bet you I
say,
have one.
scissor reel.
If not for my balding Facebook page, must be posted there.
No.
Yeah, pretty
Amazing.
crazy though. That's great that you actually got on the air though, because people don't realize like how slim a chance you got it
So,
all going the right way.
well, this is the thing, Daryl. So somebody else had approached me about, and I did a whole sizzle reel too, and they followed us around for a few months, and it was a complete waste of time. It was a complete waste of time because it didn't go anywhere. And so then when these people called, like a couple years ago, I was like, oh gosh, not again, because it takes up so much energy and time, right? So it was
You
like
get
another production company.
excited.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I've already kind of been down this path and it didn't go anywhere. But I'm just like, you know what? Again, who am I to turn down this type of opportunity? Sure. You guys want to put the resources and this and that and to do it. So I said sure. And then like about maybe a year after that, they called me. They're like, hey, remember when we were like following you around? Well, the show got picked up by HGTV. I'm like,
Whoa.
what?
What?
So
That's
yeah.
great. And
amazing.
that ties everything you're doing together in a phenomenal way.
Yeah.
right?
Huge.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
What a
The
what an
brand, like
opportunity.
you've got a brand, and I'll give an example of like the American version, which would be Ryan Serhant, right?
yes.
You've
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know any other Canadians that I could compare to Ryan
Look at
Serhant. So
this.
hopefully that's a
From one week
compliment.
to the next, we have the Canadian Ryan Serhant on the show, and last week we have the Canadian Alex Jones. We are on Canadian fire here.
Yeah.
Oh my
But that's what it is.
gosh.
You're building a brand, right? And so when the
It's
brand gets so
great.
recognized and the reputation so high, then all of a sudden people just they don't want to go anywhere else, and that they trust you, right? And that they just want to do whatever it is you say. You like buy this
Well,
house, build this house, stage your house, whatever it is. It's huge. It's huge for the brand.
Yeah, but it does come down to, again, just the quality of work that you do, right? Because people, it's substance over hype, right? People they can smell what's sort of like solid from what is just, as I said, kind of hype. So it's really important to us that that's just like a bonus, right? Like that's just a bonus, but really it's all about the referrals and people having an excellent experience with us and them getting great results.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And being able to take them to a development with the houses being built, satisfied customers, long-standing real estate career. Like, yeah, I get it. It's just the brand
Absolutely.
itself, though, is just part of the bonus of doing anything
Yeah.
on HGTV, and obviously any streaming service. Which really YouTube, like, look at how many celebrities there are on YouTube. Look how many people that we know of because of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Darryl
Because it's
Frankfurt
great.
has
It's
entered.
the accessibility. Everybody has YouTube, but just like you, TK, like so many people, they're over cable, unfortunately. So that's another thing that's changing, like right before our eyes.
My wife is the only one that actually that's not true. I watch sports on cable.
Yes.
If
Same.
but I could stream them easily. For some reason, my wife just likes kind of clicking through 1,000 channels.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
I
it's a
refuse
thing,
to
man.
give it up. I refuse
It is
to
a
give it up. I
thing.
don't know if I'm a dinosaur or what, but I'm just like, no, people, they have like even these boxes and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got the box. I have the channels. I don't click, but I have the box.
I don't want, I just like it. Like, I don't know. I like the conventional way, but I know we're the last of a dying breed.
You guys are the last of a dying breed, like smokers, people that smoke real cigarettes.
I saw a really cool thing. A guy, investor that I know, he did a smoking shed. So he's got like, he does multi-family residential. So like, 20, 30 unit buildings. And he built out of steel a shed for people to smoke. So instead of, you can't tell people to not smoke in the building, but he's got all these little vents on the side of the building. It's like a shed, but it's made of steel, so it's fireproof. And he put it out in the yard behind the apartment building with all these nice little seats, and it looks all decorated and stuff to encourage people to go out and smoke in their building. So if you have landlords, that's a great idea, right? You want people to stop smoking in the house, build them an outdoor shed for them to go and sit down in.
Well, even we had a request to that point of somebody wanted like a cigar room within their house. So it's in the house and it's just like ventilated differently for them to smoke cigars and other things in. Yeah.
Oh, cigars, quote unquote. Okay.
Whatever they want to
quote
smoke, they can
anymore.
smoke.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Now it's
That's
cool.
right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But venting, so that would be a kind of like a unique thing. Like that would be like a unique thing where you're all of a sudden you're like, okay, who do we got to find who knows how to build these smoking rooms, right? Like it's not just like your typical.
And then Like imagine it would be the same people that build like a wine cellar, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I think the HVAC guys know.
No, they're involved.
Yeah, the wine cellars obviously in terms of refrigeration but it's where they can smoke, but it's completely, it goes.
It doesn't like crazy exhaust system.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't like smoke up in the room.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I worked in the lumber yards or in the lumber business with my uncle, who's a gigantic real estate mogul and has more money than God, they decided, you couldn't smoke in the offices anymore. This is probably 20 years ago. And so he designated his office the smoking area. And he built like this crazy office with tons of ventilation, and the fire department just kept coming in and finding him all the time, and he would just keep smoking. Smokers are crazy.
You know what? It's their life.
It's their life.
So Odeen, I want to give you a shameless
How do we
plug
get
here. I
onto
want to know
that?
where people can find you. Okay, so where are all your people going to see you right now? On Instagram, we've got at Odeen.
Hmm.
We
Yeah,
has launched We Realty has launched a website.
it's
Yeah,
not.
which we
It hasn't.
shared at the beginning.
Yeah, it hasn't officially launched. It still has some work to be done, but it will like officially launch probably within the next month or so. But just werealtyinc.com, and pretty much all my socials are at Odeen, the wilshiregroup.com, Wilshire Homes on Instagram, and We Developments Inc. on Instagram as well.
Awesome. Even if you're not
Holy.
planning on building a luxury home, it's a great page just to follow, just to be able to see what luxury homes look like and maybe put that on your vision board. But Odeen, I really, really appreciate it. This has been a great episode. I know everyone's going to love
Yes,
it.
thank you.
And feel free to share it on any of your, Instagrams or anything like that as well.
Oh.
And
Will do.
it's been great catching up with you.
You as
Yeah, and
well.
next
So good to see
time,
you.
please, if you could bring Drake with you, that would be great.
Oh, we're gonna
Forgot
get
to
Drake
talk about
ourselves. It's okay.
Drake.
Don't worry. We got him. All right. We got a really good booking manager lined up on this show. So we got the connections.
Yeah,
Awesome.
okay.
Enjoy
Thanks
your
for coming.
Sunday, Odeen.
Great to meet you.
It's so fun. So great. Wonderful to meet you too, Darryl. And then TK, I might check out your listing in Ajax because that sounds like an incredible deal.
No problem. It's 5
Win,
Woodhouse in Ajax.
win.
What is it?
Look at this.
5 Woodhouse.
Woodhouse. Oh, over there, Woodhouse. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Salem
But
and
those
Bailey.
are good. Those are good building lots too.
60-foot
Like over there.
frontage, 40
Yeah.
at the back, reverse pie. Cute little area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to give us the MLS number, TK?
I don't have it memorized, but there's enough info to make it work.